Some people are just not content to be part of the crowd. They want to stand out. They want to be special. And one of the ways to do that in a religious setting is to claim that you have access to some kind of secret knowledge. Right? Maybe that you've uncovered some hidden insight that no one else in the Bible that no one else knows. And so you hear people say things like this all the time. Or someone will just claim outright that they've received a personal revelation from God through some dramatic encounter. And so often those kinds of supposed revelations relate to prophecy about the kingdom of God in the end times. And so if you look through history, there's countless religious groups that have been formed through people making those sorts of mystical claims. Some are obscure and never become popular, but others are very influential. Right? Some might maintain the essential truths of Christianity, but there's others that deny them entirely. And so you could think of movements like the Seventh-day Adventists, the Jehovah's Witnesses, the Mormons, even Islam. Right? All of those groups all start by mystical claims of one person. So Jesus warns about this type of deception. In Luke 17, 22 through 25, it tells us he said to the disciples, so he's addressed the Pharisees and he turns back to his disciples and he says, the days are coming when you'll desire to see one of the days of the Son of Man and you will not see it. And they will say to you, look there, or look here. And he says, do not go out or follow them. And his response then, verses 24 and 25, is, for as the lightning flashes and lights up the sky from one side to the other, so will the Son of Man be in his day. But first he must suffer many things and be rejected by this generation. Now again, like I was saying a moment ago, I think when times get hard, when people are afraid, they begin to get desperate. And they want relief from their suffering. They want a change. They want the Son of Man to come. And that desperation makes them easy targets for those who claim to have some mystical insight about the truth. And yet we see here that Jesus is exposing the error of those sorts of claims. First of all, he says that when he returns, it won't be in secret. It's not going to be some mystery. Everyone on earth will be aware of it. It'll be like lightning filling the sky, but it'll reach everywhere around the entire globe. It will be undeniable. And so all of God's revelation has this universal quality about it. It's not about secret things. He wants everyone to hear and understand, not just a select few. And so, for instance, in Matthew 10, verse 27, Jesus told his followers, what I tell you in the dark, say in the light. And what you hear whispered, proclaim on the housetops. Right? That was supposed to be the focus of the church, of spreading the news openly. Now, that's not to say that there are not mysterious things about God and his plans, things that are hard to understand. Right? But the truths that he wants us to know are openly shared. I mean, we look in Deuteronomy 29, Moses makes an interesting statement. He says, the secret things belong to the Lord our God, but the things that are revealed belong to us and to our children forever, that we may do all the words of this law. So again, you see it. There's always people who will come along and claim some special knowledge about the timing of Christ's returns. They'll try to link news stories, political events, natural disasters, or astronomical occurrences with prophecy. And yet, again, I always come back to Matthew 24:36, where Jesus explicitly says, but concerning that day and hour, no one knows, not even the angels of heaven nor the Son of Man, but the Father only. I mean, at least here in Luke 17, in the passage we just read, the only prerequisite for his return that he mentions is his own suffering and rejection, and that's already happened, right? And that really sets the tone for what his followers would face in the world. So don't be deceived by mystical claims. Be wary of those who claim some special knowledge that no one else has or no one else has ever seen. And I think over time it often becomes clear that people who claim those things are often fabricating their stories to gain attention, fame, and fortune. God's given us his word and his spirit so that we can understand his truth and live it out.